Greetings, everybody. Nina the Mystic here, and welcome to another Beyond Truth. Tonight, we are going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to get into the more informative shows. We're going to go a little bit more pagan and a little bit about the Imbolc and the full moon that's happening right now, guys. I hope you guys are excited. So, how are you doing tonight, Robert?
Doing great. Full moon and all. I know when I went to work this morning, it was almost like it was light out, but it was the moon.
Yes, it's a full wolf moon, they call it, or a snow moon, they call it, or snow moon, because it is mostly snow in most places, but in Leo. So that's very interesting, right on the Imbolc. So I thought, well, why not do a show on that? I haven't really done any, spiritual or pagan related things in quite a while. And, this is a variety show. It'll be a variety of topics and guests and whatever. And so, I hope that there's going to be a little bit something for everyone. It is hard to accommodate everyone, but hopefully there'll be something in here that you'll enjoy and you'll definitely learn something. That's usually on most of my shows. You will definitely walk away with something new for sure. I would say definitely with these shows.
Okay,
but
before you get going, I don't know a whole lot about the full moon and Leo and all this stuff. Could you explain just a little bit of that for the people probably just like me who just confused? What does the full moon and Leo mean anyway?
So we're going to get into that. I have a sort of a presentation that we're going to get into where I'm going to be reading off. Of course, we got the chat GPT now helping us with things. And so I will be telling you all about Imbolc, about the full moon, also connections to the Norse, and connections, occult connections. So it's not just the pagan. Imbolc is more or less a Celtic thing. That's kind of where most of our pagan sort of roots, not most, because all of us were pagans at one time, but Imbolc in particular is definitely a Celtic sort of thing. So, I don't think they celebrated it too much in the north just because of all the snow. And I feel a little bit bad because I know that back east, Canada and the United States, they're covered in snow. Minus 50, they are not seeing any growths or anything. Down here on the West Coast, of course, we've had a very mild winter. So we are already seeing tulips coming up and everything else. So, it's usually, February 1st, it's Imbolc. You're going to start to see the little crocuses coming up usually in places. That's sort of the first sort of thing. And so it's the beginning of everything. And we're going to get into that. I do have a whole presentation that we're going to do. I'm just hoping the people will give people a chance to get into the live chat here. And as you're coming in, I see a couple people are in there. If you don't mind smashing that like button as you're coming in here and sharing it out, and hopefully people will see this. I noticed that I don't think there was any notification other than what I was sharing on YouTube. I don't think they notified you at all. I didn't see it on my end. So, you know what I mean? It's hit and miss. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, so we do need you guys to sort of share this out and word of mouth and all that good stuff to get them to come in, especially if they enjoy the live chat. It's not always a live show here, but there'll always be a live chat so that you guys can enjoy that. For those who do enjoy that, a lot of you might be watching over on Rumble or Odysee, or maybe you're even listening to a podcast, which is great. Wherever it is that you're watching or listening, make sure that you are following me there and hit the thumbs up on the video there or whatever you're watching or listening to, you know what I mean? And also comment down below. I love to hear where you guys are watching from, and so give us a little comments. Let us know what you think of the video and where you're watching from or listening from. So that would be kind of cool. But welcome, everybody. We might as well just get into it because I know a lot of people don't like the long, dragged out sort of, chit-chat that we do before. But before I do, though, I got to just say this out there. For those of you who enjoy like the super chat type of experience, I do sort of have that. It's not quite the same. I'm not monetized, obviously, so you're not going to get any ads here, which is great. You can watch this ad free anywhere. But Streamlabs do have links. And so I do in the chat right now, you'll have 2 links up in there. One is for a tip. So if you want, and it's kind of like a super chat because you'll show up on the screen, you'll get Insta shout outs. Okay. So for those who are into that, there is the Streamlabs link for that. And also if you purchase merch during the show, it will show up interactive here and everybody can see that you bought something in there and you'll get an Insta shout out from us. And so those links are pinned in the chat if you'd like to do that during the live show. If you're watching it later or listening later, no worries. The links, there'll be other links down in the description of the video. Okay. And so, yeah, so with that, we might as well get into the presentation here. I'm going to give you guys a little something to watch while I'm talking. Okay, something a little interactive here. So that's showing up good. All right. All right. Now I'm not seeing the chat now, so I'll let Robert take over the chat, maybe ask questions and whatever. And if there's something that
I will do that, I will keep my eye out.
If you need me for something, just
out to everybody. Emperor Rex, Lucky Stone. I am a wise Neo, so thank you for joining us right now. Nina, it's all up to you. Don't forget, look at that mug that you got. Don't forget to get your mugs. Not only the tips, but the mug, t-shirts like we're wearing right here, Beyond Truth. And remember to tell all your friends, buy a shirt for them too.
It's a great way to support the channel and get a collector's item for yourself. I do carry official merch for 3 channels here now then. So we got Arwin Steiger as well as the Milky Way, several logos, all kinds of different things. And so go and browse in there while we're talking, maybe. I don't know. Links are there for your convenience. And without further ado, so just cut me off if you need me for something because I'm not watching the chat right now. I'll be busy with the presentation here. But yes, Imbolc and the full moon in Leo. So, all right, let's get in here. All right, welcome everybody. Tonight we gather under the full moon in Leo at the ancient seasonal threshold known as Imbolc, a night when fire returns, seeds stir beneath the frozen earth, and power quietly awakens. This is not just a pagan holiday. This is a crossroads in time. Tonight we explore Imbolc through pagan, Norse, occult, and astrological lenses to understand what this night truly activates within us. What is Imbolc? Imbolc is an ancient Celtic fire festival, traditionally celebrated around February 1st, 2nd, whatever it is, whenever it shows up there. Exactly halfway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So there's another thing. Like the pagans celebrated something pretty much almost every month, you know what I mean? When you look at it, there's always something to observe. And with that, they are knowing when the seasons are, when to do things and all this kind of stuff. And that's for survival, honestly. So yeah, it's interesting that it is right between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. The word Imbolc likely comes from Old Irish Iambolg, meaning in the belly. This refers to seeds in the belly of the earth, new life stirring beneath frost, growth that has begun through unseen. Imbolc was not about celebrating spring, because it's not spring yet, obviously. It was about trusting the return of life before evidence appeared. So that's kind of interesting. The key themes of Imbolc include fire returning, milk flowing again as animals lactate, purification and cleansing, renewal and quiet hope. Imbolc is the moment when inner ignition begins. And then we got Brigit. Brigit, keeper of the sacred flame. Imbolc is sacred to Brigit, one of the most powerful goddesses of the Celtic world. She is the goddess of fire and inspiration, poetry and prophecy, healing and sacred wells, smithcraft, and creation. Brigit represents creative fire, not destruction, but birth. Traditionally, people honored Brigit by lighting candles through the home, cleaning the house spiritually and physically, laying out clothes for blessing, waving Brigit's crosses for protection, weaving Brigit's crosses for protection. When Christianity arrived, Brigit was not erased. She was transformed into Saint Brigit, a rare survival of divine feminine power. And here comes the Norse and Viking connection. The Vikings did not celebrate Imbolc by name, but they honored the same seasonal energy. The Norse followed its lunisolar calendar, rooted in land, survival, and cycles of life and death. Late winter aligned with rites such as Disblot, honoring female ancestral spirits known as the Desir, fertility and land blessing rituals, preparation for return of growth. This time focused on honoring ancestral mothers, appeasing land spirits, preparing tools, fields, and fate, reading omens for the coming year. To the Norse, life began not in spring, but when we'll return. The gods most associated with this period were Frey, god of fertility, growth, and kingship; Freya, goddess of magic, prophecy, and rebirth. Late winter rites assured that life would return. And then we get into the occult and esoteric meanings. In occult traditions, Imbolc represents the spark face of manifestation. Alchemically, this is the face of calcination, burning away stagnation, revealing essence. Elementally, earth remains frozen, fire takes dominance. This is not the time for action, but for intention charged with heat. Imbolc is a cross-quarter day, a solar gateway. The veil thins here, not for spirits, but for potential. I found that's very interesting there. So it is a time to ignite that flame inside. You know, it's not spring yet. We're not sort of springing out there, taking our clothes off quite yet, but we're sort of igniting that fire within, manifesting and making sure that it's going to be fruitful. What have we got going on here?
I didn't do it.
There we go. So of course this video is monetized. That's kind of funny. Okay, I took the noise off now. Anyways, oopsie. There you go. All right, so now we're getting into the full moon in Leo. A full moon in Leo illuminates self-expression, courage, visibility, creative power, the balance between ego and authenticity. Leo asks powerful questions. Where are you dimming yourself? Where are you performing instead of living? What wants to be seen? Leo fire combined with the Imbolc fire creates activation energy. You know what I mean? This energy right now is an activation energy between the full moon and the Imbolc all at the same time here. This is an ideal night for declaring intentions. Okay, so I do recommend that you guys light a candle tonight. You can do it now or you can do it later. But lighting a candle and setting some intentions. You can do creative rituals, confidence and visibility work, stepping fully into personal power. And when you got that Leo energy, right? Leo is all about, power and strength and all that kind of stuff. So this is a very powerful night to be setting intentions, honestly. The energy of the night is awakening, heart-centered, courage-building, fertile but not rushed. You may feel restless, emotion, inspiration, or boldness. This is not chaos. It is power returning to circulation. This is a night to speak intentions out loud, Light candles with meaning, create something, choose hope consciously. Hoping, not just hoping, but knowing that spring is around the corner, right? Not just hoping that it is, but it's coming. Now, we do have some, we're going to look into some conspiracies and hidden patterns. Imbolc was absorbed into the Christian calendar as Candlemas. So that's what the Christians are calling it. I'm assuming that would be a Catholic thing, Candlemas.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Catholic thing. That definitely is. I remember that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a Catholic. I never was a Catholic, so I've never done a candle mass, but I have heard of the mass, and that does seem like a Catholic thing. So, and of course, it was the Catholics that took over, right? We were literally forced into, doing that. But see, the Christians, they couldn't quite get rid of all these traditions and holidays and whatnot. They just kind of took over and called
it. What you can't get rid of, you adopt, and then everybody says, I can't remember. After a few generations, people can't tell the difference between their beliefs and the other beliefs, and so it just blends in. And the church or Catholics, any religion knows that. They know that, few generations, we're going to still be here, and everybody won't remember.
Yeah,
it'll be past history.
So for those of you who are Catholic and maybe are engaging in candle mass, well, that's what you're doing. You're basically, doing the Imbolc stuff is basically what you're doing. It's just you're calling it something else now. But fire rituals became blessings. So the church calls it blessings, but they're, we used to do fire rituals. Goddess power became sainthood, right? So Saint Brigit now instead of just, So fire has always symbolized knowledge, independence, revolution. Seasonal fire rites were often discouraged for a reason. Cross-quarter days were once used for oaths, initiations, claims of power. Disconnected people are easier to control. That's the only, so ChatGPT is not going to give you a heck of a lot of tea, if you will. You know what I mean? But that's one little thing that it gave me here that I thought was very interesting. And so I want to say it again. Disconnected people are easier to control.
Yeah. Well, we can see that in the world right now is because
that's what I was just going to say. I mean, that is so fitting for what's going on, and people are literally awakening right now.
But you know what the funny irony of this all is we believe we're still connected because we're connected through the web, but yet we're disconnected from people and the world around us because we got this screen in front of us, so we believe that we are connected to everybody and everything.
Yeah. I know. It's like when Facebook came around. I think I signed up in 2007. So that was actually quite a while. That's almost 20 years ago now. Wow. And so once we got on there, and I think that really changed things a lot more than we realized, I think, is now all of a sudden you got all these Facebook friends. So it feels like you have a lot of friends. Some of us have hundreds, right, of Facebook friends, but they're not really our friends, are they? Right? We're not connected to them. We don't talk to them on the daily. We have no idea who they are or what they're even doing. You know what I mean? But because we have that at our fingertips, we feel like we're connected, but we're not. So it's exactly we're disconnected, but we don't know it. You see, we think we're connected, but we're not. And so it's very interesting that the ChatGPT said that, especially right now. So
every now and then it throws you a good nugget.
It does, doesn't it? And that's what you got to look for. You say, it was very interesting that I said that. So now you can, there's, I don't even know if I want to get into this. There's not much left here now. I think I'm going to get out of there. And then we might as well hide that guy and we'll be back up on the thing. There we go. So yeah, I didn't have a heck of a lot, you know. So that, I don't know, did that answer your questions about what is Imbolc and what is, you know, a
Yeah,
full moon
it's
of Leo?
kind of like, to me, it sounded like it's a pre-spring celebration or a pre-spring thing, because like you said, the you know, some of the buds are coming out, or the
Yeah.
cattle are lactating, you know, things are starting to happen, and you know spring is just right over there, and then the moon comes out, and this is the way to say, okay, in another month or so, everything's going to be coming and blooming, and babies are going to be happening, and so
Mm-hmm.
forth and so on. So this is a time to cast away my bad stuff and get new intentions. And you know, and the sign is the moon. The moon is the sign.
Right. Yeah. So having those two energies together tonight, I think, is very, very powerful. And it also talks about, you know, cleaning, you know, cleaning your house. This would actually be a very good time, no matter how cold it is in your neck of the woods. It's always good to like air out your house, you know what I mean? Open up front and back door, that kind of thing. You know, get some of the, maybe the old Christmas clutter, make sure all of that stuff is gone now, you know, and clean up a bit, you know, before the big spring clean, but just to air out. And also this actually goes really well with my spray. You know, you want to air out the house, right? And then you want to go over it with my cleansing spray here. This is a good time of the year to, I didn't even think of this before we even started the show, honestly, but this is a good time to be using that, you know, just to kind of clear all that old stagnant stuff out of there, you know, and welcoming in the new, you know, which is just around the corner. The little crocuses are just sort of sticking out of the snow a little bit now. You know, down here, of course, we got the tulips coming. But I also have a message here because I got the cards, of course, right? So, and I thought this is actually a very good collective message for everyone, fitting for today, for what's going on like right now. And so I'm going to show them here. I got 3 cards. So full moon in Leo says to go wild. Leo energy is very, you know, powerful, strength, you know, he's got that, you know, confidence about him, right? And so it says to go wild here. Now we also have Brigit. I don't know if you can see. Don't back down. And I don't know if you can see it all the way.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Back it up a little bit.
Just stand up for what you believe is right. And you know what? That is so fitting. So there's a lot of things going on in this world. You see a lot of things on the news. A lot, you know, a lot of you have been waking up here this last few years, probably since 20. And, you know, the message from Brigit is, if you see it, say something. You know, just because it's your politicians or is your teacher, your boss, whoever it might be, maybe your prime minister or your president might be saying things, right? And it just doesn't sit with you. Something's off. It doesn't feel right. Maybe you get that little knot in your stomach when you're listening to this, you know, maybe listening to the news. What's going on? You know, and so if you feel like this is not right, say something, stand up. You know, whether you do a show, you know, or you literally stand up in front of a crowd. But this is Bridget's message right now. You know, don't back down. Don't just be a yes person and go along with whatever they say. Stand up for what you believe is right. Okay, because most likely that is true. And then the full moon in Leo says, though, but don't let your pride get in your way. So are you too prideful? Yeah, you know, you're like, well, I'm not going to say anything because, you know, they're going to make fun of me. Oh, you know, I'm going to get rejected. Oh, you know, I might get ostracized somehow. Right? That's your pride. That's your ego. Right? Telling you not to say something. So the message here from the full moon and Brigit, I would say, you know, be bold like a lion, you know, stand up there, right? You know what I mean? If you see it, say something. That's not saying. So I hope that that message reaches to where it needs to go. I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that needs that message. At least that's I know there is. Somebody's out there that needs to hear that right now, and that might fit in your personal life as well. Maybe you're going through something right now. You're having some squabbles, maybe, and whatever, and you need that Leo backbone. You need to stand up for what you believe. If somebody said something to you or did something, you know what I mean, and this isn't right, you stand your ground. You know what I mean? Stand up for what you believe is right. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps somebody out there. Yeah.
But remember, the most important thing out of all of that message is if it resonates with you, follow through with it. Because a lot of times, just like our show yesterday, if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. It was on the Milky Way. But if it resonates with you, the most important thing is follow through. Do the work. Follow through with what it says. If it says you need to get up and motivate, get up and motivate. If it says that you got a big ego and you realize, yeah, that resonates. I got a really big ego and it's holding me back. Well, then do something about it. You don't want to. I mean, if you don't and you just keep doing the same thing, you're not. All those cards you pulled, Nina, are not going to do you any good.
Well, yeah, that's true. I know there's a lot of people are come, for advice, and but they don't take it, and then they come back next month and they're wondering why things haven't changed, and the cards are saying it's the same because, well, you haven't done anything. Yeah, so that is very frustrating. Now, I was gonna see if I could. Oh, I got rid of it. That's why I can't find it. I was gonna bring up the wiki page on Imbolc to see if maybe there was something else in there. Let's see. I'm not going to be able to find it now. Oh, there we go.
Well, anyway.
That's the wrong one. Anyways, yeah. So, they didn't have as much stuff on there that I was hoping, but
well, I mean, but the important part is let's talk a little bit more about.
What is this? Oh, what do you got a question in here? I see. Huh? Oh, Porter said that resonates. Awesome.
Yeah, well, he was saying something about he's following the Casey plan currently, and it was on Mike and Cindy's show. Remember, didn't we have Mike and Cindy? We had Mike and Cindy on here, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we have had Mike and Cindy on the show. Just go to my channel at Nina the Mystic 68 and look up our Winter Solstice show. They were on. That's right. I've been to the motto. I've been what does it say? Engaged the last 3 weeks of January. That's been the motto. Oh, I see. Okay, I missed some other chats.
So anyway, he resonates to the actions taken in January to the clear and stand, and we'll see the miracles in February. That's right. If you see, now that's the way to work it. If it resonates, then you to take the actions taken, and if you do it, don't expect a result immediately. You have to put the intentions. You have to put the stuff out there. You have to do the work, and then you will get the what do you call it? The
results.
The results. Yes. It was on my tip of my tongue, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm lost.
But it's not yet, and that's a good time of the year too, because everything is under snow right now, so it's just peaking up, so set the intentions now, but it's not going to come to fruition until after the snow has melted, so give it a little bit of time. So if you even want to go with that with the message here, stand your ground, speak your mind if that's what you need. I don't know, there's going to be a lot of different people with different things going on here, right? But don't expect immediate positive reaction to come from that right away. Those people, maybe you have to tell your boss, no, I'm sorry, I'm not working weekends anymore, or you told your
Well,
wife that, I'm sorry, I can't do this for you, or whatever. Don't expect them to be happy about that right away. Give it some time, because once they've slept on it, maybe thought about it for a bit, and they realize that, oh, you know what, you're right. You deserve the weekends off. You've been working so hard for so many years. You can have the weekends off. Or the wife might say, you know what, go fishing. I don't care. Take the weekend off. You deserve it. You know what I mean? So, or whatever it is.
That's what people forget in this day and age, because we're a very impatient people. And I heard, you hear this from people. They want everything right now. They want the results today. I mean, that's why we have DoorDash. That's why we have food delivered right to your door. That's why you can shop online. And, that's why we can do all of these things, because people are impatient. You order it and you want a 3-day delivery. You go to the store and you want that product right now, or you're mad. And it's like, wait a minute. The world really, in reality, doesn't work like that. I heard a very good saying today, and it was talking about the past and the present. In the past, people got what they needed to live and survive. And today, we get what we desire. And there's a big difference in that. That ruins your whole idea, or your whole world, because when your desires are immediate, and you want to practice this stuff here, what we're talking about, you pull a card, you got to do this and follow through. You may desire to, say, win the lottery, but you have to go buy a ticket. You have to follow through. You may have to buy several, or you want your wife to love you again, and you'd say nice things to her. You can't come in and say, hey, you wash the dishes, old lady. Damn it, where's my dinner? You're going to get bad results.
You definitely are. I know. Well, I get your point. I get your point. Yeah. I just wanna look at Lucky's here, because a lot of people have been getting migraines. Really? So I know the full moon does affect a lot of people. Of course, moon cycles. I mean, we're 70% water. It affects the tides and everything else. So why wouldn't it affect different things? But a lot of people I've heard have had migraine. Like yesterday, I was with my kids there, and this one chick, she had a really bad migraine, and you're saying you got a migraine, and a lot of people feel like they can't sleep, or there's a lot of different things that can affect you with this full moon. And being on the Imbolc, I just feel like tonight it's a special energy. It just caught my attention for some reason. So I wouldn't be surprised if you suffer from migraines. You might find that this full moon might trigger it. So having that said, take the precautions you need to do to avoid the migraine, or whatever it is that you need to do to heal it, I guess, as well. So hopefully you're feeling better, Lucky. It says it's a little bit better than it was. The full moon also is like the day before, the day of, and the day after. So it's a 3-day sort of window there with that full moon. So
that moon affects a lot of things.
It does.
This is kind of a weird question, but doesn't it affect like women's cycle and stuff like that? And it affects, the growth of plants. I guess that's why you plant, even in gardening, you plant your potatoes on a full moon or something like that too. And you harvest, or what? There's a thing with gardening where the seeds sprout better. And is it a wise tale, or is it the truth?
Nina, no, I think it's, people have been around for a long time, and they've tried things out, and so they know, if you listen to the old things, that, there are certain times, and this is why they have these celebrations, to remind themselves that, hey, it's time to do this or time to do that. And yes. Yeah.
It's the moon creates storms, barometric pressure, and again too, the moon could be causing storms. I mean, it is a big.
And then you got the solar flare thing as well. So these solar flares and the Schumann resonance and all of this stuff that's going on, it's going to affect us. And I actually noticed, this was last week, I think it was exactly a week ago. I I think it was a Tuesday or something, like last Tuesday. The whole
Mhm.
day, for some reason, I just kept forgetting things, like all kinds of things. And then I talked to other people; they said the same thing. It's such a bizarre, like I really noticed that, I mean, we all forget things once in a while and whatever, but I really noticed how forgetful I was being that day. And then when other people said the same thing, so it makes you wonder, like, what else is going on, right? That we're being affected by,
Could it?
that they,
And,
you know,
and you never know. I mean, this could be true. Remember, there's the old wise saying, or the history or whatever. I don't even know if it's true because it's one of those things you see on the internet, and it
yeah,
says that back in the day, with the moon and everything, and the Earth spun, and everybody lost their memory, and so nobody knew who they were or where they were or what they were. Could this
weird.
be one of those things where it goes back to the Tower of Babel, where people couldn't speak anymore, and they all ran off because they couldn't do the job? Was that part of the moon thing? We don't
I
know.
don't think that was the moon. I don't think we can give credence to the moon for that. That would have been something way more.
Well,
Uh,
we are affected by what could have been a big solar storm and reflection. Just the way the
But to
planets
change
are.
somebody's language, that requires technology or magic that we don't have right now. So
Yeah.
that's just the physical. There's no storm in this world that's going to make you wake up tomorrow and speak Japanese all of a sudden. It's just not going to happen. No,
Well,
that's
I always wondered about that. If it would change, did it really change their language or make them forget their language? And then they had to all break up and run away and
well there.
make
That's
their own
actually a
new
very
language.
good point. That's a very. But then they had a different language though. So that's what I mean. Like you can't just insert take away a language and assert a language just like that. I don't know. That's not the kind of technology we don't have today that I know of. I don't know how to do it. So, but yeah, could they do things to make us forget things? Yeah, I do think that we do have. I mean, we know from just by thinking about something, the next thing you know, we got ads coming up. So we know that they're listening to our thoughts. So if
Mhm.
they're able to do that, then they probably are able to sort of make us forget things. But it wasn't one thing, you see, it was the whole day. It was really, I don't know what went on. Something was going on that day because other people confirmed it to me. Like, yeah, they were talking. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like things that you always do or always remember, like for some reason, it didn't happen that day. Couldn't do it that day.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Yeah, it really weird.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, bizarre times there. But yeah,
what's
you get to wondering about this stuff.
Sorry, I'm just reading here.
No, that's all right. We got to.
My
While you read, I'll talk.
certainty
Don't want
I don't
dead.
know what's up.
Month of miracle. Yes.
2,000 years. Yeah, no, we're not waiting that long.
That'll be the greatest in 2,000 years since it's the purification before.
It'll be the greatest.
Is the 2,000 years coming up? That's.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like they say Jesus was coming back 2,000 years later, but he's always seems to be coming back, or is he already come back and gone, and we just were too stupid to notice? I mean, really. I mean,
yeah.
Well, if Jesus came up on TV and says, "I'm here, I'm back," would people believe it? I mean,
well, according to the Bible, first of all, the disciples at the time believed that he was going to come back in their lifetime. They were betting on it. Like they've taught for sure. So I don't know exactly what the communication was between all of them there, but they all believed that he was going to come back in their lifetime. Now, of course, 2,000 years later, I mean, how off can you be? I mean, so obviously that's not going to happen. Okay. Now, are they going to put on a show for us one day with, Project Bluebeam with the holographic Jesus, and everybody can see it all over the world at the same time? Because I do believe that's something that's mentioned as well, that, but that's through the Wi-Fi though. That's how I was interpreting it. It was through the Wi-Fi. We're all going to see it on the screen at the same time. But
just think of just have you forgotten just a few months ago or whatever it was, people were giving all their stuff away because they thought
rapture.
the rapture was coming. This is how foolish people are. Somebody put the date on things and people start believing it. How many cults have there been where, the guy says Jesus is coming back, this day, and everybody gets around and stands there and prays, and well, he didn't come back, and then he goes, well, I could have it off by just another year. It's next
move
year.
The goalpost a little further back. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're good at that. I know. Yeah, they're all good at that. It's hilarious to see them come and go.
But it's not just one guy. It's been hundreds of guys, and
I know.
they get thousands of people that believe this, and they give away their stuff, and they sit out there. I'm ready. Take me now. And I'm still waiting. I must not be worthy now. Oh, can I have my stuff back?
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah, no. I think I know that my audience would never do that. You guys wouldn't be coming here if you guys were that gullible. So I'm not worried about that. Yeah. Hi, Bonnie.
Well,
I see we got a
the
bunch of
rapture's coming, and you do feel like that.
Yeah.
You can give me your house. I'll take it. I promise I'll take good care of it. Don't worry, it'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
so if you're going to set some intentions, Robert, what kind of intentions would you want to set then for the Imbolc here tonight? You guys should light a candle and set some intentions. I don't know what would be good. Considering collectively. Like with everything that I guess our intentions is peace. I mean, really, with everything that's going on in the world, I mean, it just seems like we're walking on eggshells. It's like, is it going to happen or is it not? Or, just get it over with already, that kind of thing. I don't know.
I do believe there's a lot of people out there. Their intention is just what you said, get it over already. I think the peace part, people have skipped right over. Just get it over. And I think that's my intention. Just get it over because we know it's coming. It's like standing on the edge of the cliff and the cliff slowly eroding away. And we all know something's going to happen. This can't go on forever. And yet all of us are thinking, oh, maybe there's some hope. But we all know that this is a cycle and it happens over and over. So the best thing we can say is get it over. Maybe that's my intention. Get it over. I'll go with that.
Yeah, I know a lot of us are feeling burnt out, kind of getting a little fatigued over this whole thing. It's especially those of us who have been awake for a long time. It's like, let's just get this over so we can start rebuilding. So we can start all over with whatever then and make the best of it.
Oh, Nina, you're kind of a prepper, and so am I. And back in the day, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe we started prepping. We're all gung ho, and now the pile of prep stuff sits in the corner over there, and we go, we're all set. And then we think, oh, is there anything I need?
No, I'm getting tired of it. Like, I don't want all this stuff. Like, I want to get rid of it all. But, it's not time yet. I know. That's what I mean. We're getting tired of the prepping, tired of the waiting. I got everything now. I can't possibly get no more. I mean, I couldn't even fit another can of food in my place if I wanted to. Like, literally. Like, I open up the cupboard doors and stuff is falling all over the place. Like, let's just get this over with so we can use our preps, okay, and then start rebuilding for the future here. Like, I'm looking forward to that. It's kind of like Imbolc, in sort of like we're just before the springtime. Let's get the show on the road already.
I know we got to go through a bunch of hell to get to the good stuff, but you got to go through the hell to get to the good stuff. And if you don't get to that part, you're just going to keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And you're right, that pile of stuff in the corner, you could be using that for other things. Or you could just say, hey, the good stuff is finally here. I went through, maybe you make it, maybe you don't, I don't know. But at least the wait will be over, one way or the other. I mean,
well, that's what I mean. So we can start rebuilding, and get the show on the road. Right now, we're just walking on eggshells, it seems. They keep delaying it. Now with this whole new, with the files, I'm not even going to say whose files. I think we all know whose files that they're talking about. Well, those aren't looking very good, are they? for the president or the first lady or any of these people, you know what I mean? So maybe things are going to start to, escalate now. That snowball is going to get bigger and bigger and go down the hill a lot faster here. Let's root for that, and get rid of all these people and get some good people in and turn things around. Yes, yay.
Mm-hmm.
Brighter days ahead.
Yeah, that's the only way to get to you're right. The only way to get to the brighter days is go through the bad days first. And as those files come out, there's going to be turmoil. People are going to be going, yelling and screaming and taking people down with them, and it's not going to be pretty. The government may even collapse. Who knows? But
that might not be a bad idea, considering the amount of corruption and whatnot that we have, in our governments. I think that's part of it. I think we need to crumble the whole thing and start from scratch. It's kind of like a house, unless you have that good foundation, you can't just start rebuilding on some old rickety something. You want to tear it all down. The whole thing's got to go so you can start from scratch, because if you have or the garden, if you have some seeds of weeds in there, that's going to sprout up and ruin everything. You got to get them all out by the roots. You can't just leave some in there, because that's going to come back and bite you later. And that's like people too. If you don't take them all out, that's going to come back and bite you. So there's some changing going on as far as the government, I think, and the way it's going to. We know there are plans, which were, but is that going to happen? Who knows? That's the thing. Like the cards say, stand up. If we all stand up, for our beliefs, and call them out on their plans. You know what I mean? Then they might change their plans then. They might have to. And I've seen them do that over and over here. Because I think the more of us who are talking about it, exposing it, they kind of have to make changes, right? So
that's right. So
maybe that's what they're just trying to tell us.
That's my intention of, let's get it over. There's what I'm throwing out to the universe. What's your intention? What are you going to yell out to the universe?
Well, I think I just said it, for the collective, right? For the collective. I mean, for the personally, that's a little bit more personal, but, basically the sort of the same things, laying out some good intentions for what you want to see, you know what I mean? To come to fruition here. Use this Leo energy. Have the confidence, though, when you're saying it. It's not like, I'm hoping, I'm praying like the Christians do, oh, please, can you, give me this or do this for me or whatever. None of that. That's gone. Okay. It's time to stand in your Leo energy and you tell it the way you want it. That's the way it's going to be. That's it. And believe it, right? Stand up, say your piece, and then walk away. It's done.
Yeah.
Don't expect results immediately, but they'll come around, I think. And that goes for personally as well as the collectively what's going on in the world, I would say. So, have the confidence to stand up, okay, and for what you believe or whatever it is that's going on. Like I said, either in your personal life as well as, collectively. So, I think I said that enough times now. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I see
shows says be the greatest creator on behalf of all brothers and sisters. Well, that's true. That's right. When things start to happen, he says, don't waste time. I like that phrase. Don't waste time. Channel self-passion and manifest reality. Be the greatest creator that you can be. And that's kind of what the cards are saying. Stand up. That would be, channeling or making yourself and being you can be your greatest creator. You create the world around you. You manifest.
Well, you are. We all are. We all are gods and goddesses. And, when we speak it and believe it, though, you have to have that confidence behind those words. And that's where the Leo comes in. So tonight is a perfect night to set some intentions. I would advise to, light a candle, set some intentions tonight. You might as well use the energy. It's here. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes you a couple of minutes to do, you know what I mean? And enjoy the energy, and hopefully we'll see some change coming up here. this year, you know?
Yeah, because you know what
So,
most people do, and this is true. This is true. They find someone who has similar beliefs, and then they give their energy to them and say, "You go do that." You know, like we find a
right.
politician. He says all the things I want to hear, and I go, "Okay, you know, I
Yeah.
got my ballot in the box. Okay, you go do it. I'm just going to go back to work or go back to sleep, and you handle it for me." And he says,
We have
"Great."
trust. Well, that's the thing. Like we've had that, right? We've had that trust in our politicians, in our teachers, in our bosses, in our parents, you know, or any authority really, you know, like policemen, you know, it used to be a nice man, didn't it? Back in the day, you know, he's a guy that you can go and talk to and he'll help you and whatever. Now you better run, you know what I mean? Like things have just changed. But yeah, we used to have that trust and we want to get back to that. To be able to live in a society where you can trust the people who are in charge here. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, because, yeah, right now we're not there. And so things do need to change for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
And so
that's for sure.
doctors, same thing. Doctors, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know. Huge trust issues now. So,
yeah. The only
yeah.
way to the only
Um,
way to get around doctors is to keep taking care of yourself and try to have the best health care you can have
mhm.
by doing it yourself. You know, take care of you because your health is one of those things you can't go on the shelf at the grocery store and just
Mhm.
buy health and say,
No.
"Ooh, I'm going to go buy some health today and I'll be better."
Well, to be
You know,
honest with you, you never know because I've heard of these patches that you can put on that can enhance all kinds of things. So I don't think it's widely out there yet, but you know, I mean, we already heard that Musk said that there's not going to be any phones, there's not going to be any apps anymore in 4 years. Kennedy said that everybody's going to be wearing wearables in 4 years. So, you know, there's going to be things probably coming out that will enhance us, but you have to put this patch on that's directly linked into your body. Like it's, so I don't, that's the thing. Like, where do we want to go with this? You know, do we want a patch to make us feel good? A patch to
but,
make us
but
sleep? Right? A patch to
again, you are so right on. But at what? The big question is, at what cost?
well,
That's
that's
the
what I'm saying. Like, we really
what
need
cost.
to find out the side effects and consequences and all that before we, you know, sign the dotted line here. I mean, you
Yeah,
know, and that's where the stand up comes in too. Like, well, you know, show us some, you know, some evidence, some proof. Like, if you're going to come out with a new medicine, you better have 5, 10 years of study and all this, not just coming out, you know, willy nilly and, oh, well, don't worry about it. Well, you know, they didn't tell you that, well, you are the experiment, but whatever, you know.
mhm.
So, you know, things like that, like everything, like we need to see, you know, especially if we're putting something in our body now. So a wearable. So that thing there is connected to everything inside your body. It knows exactly your body
Well,
temperature. It
and
knows if you took your medication. It knows what you're eating. It knows, you know, how many calories you're consuming. It knows how many steps you took today. And if you
yeah,
don't do what they say, like you have to do this many steps, you have to take this medication, they'll know whether you took it or not because there's a technology for that. They can tell. And you have to eat this food. If you don't, so you have no more choices at all, even for your basic needs anymore now with this stuff.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Either
So,
you follow the rules
and if you
or
don't, if you
we turn you off.
choose to not to, well, then you're not going to get your check this month.
Yep.
You know, your
Yeah.
digital, whatever it is. Yeah, that's going
But
to
at,
be cut off.
but at the same time of giving you good health, if you follow all the rules and wear the patch and we monitor every step and every word you say, they can also, I would imagine they've already figured this out. We can turn you off and make you sick at the same time, you know,
Mm,
that
that's
patch. I mean, you
true.
don't
I know now
take
we're
that
getting a
stuff.
little dark in it, but yeah, I mean, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They can,
Mhm.
you know, you're
Well,
expired now.
well,
Oh,
and that's the thing.
retirement is, you know,
Well,
yeah.
didn't the Canadian government do that when these protesters went out there? They turned off their bank accounts. I mean, what?
You declare,
I
okay,
went to a
our prime
protest and they turned.
minister. declared a national emergency over some truckers honking their horns. Okay, that was national emergency. And that because he said, it doesn't matter what happens, they can do whatever they want. And then now all of a sudden, all their bank accounts got frozen. Some of them are still in jail. Some of them are still not gotten their things back and whatever. Like, it's So that's the thing. So again, this card is so fitting for what's going on right now, to stand up, guys. We're all talking, right? We're all, conversing at work, at school, whatever, but nobody's standing up and doing anything about it. And that's the problem with society. Nobody wants to be the one that says, wait a minute, that emperor's not wearing any clothes, right? Nobody wants to be that guy, right? And so everybody just sits back and just, doesn't say anything. So, so I hope that if anything from this show tonight, that is something that you can take away, you know what I mean? To stand up wherever, that can be on your personal level as well. Like this card might resonate on that. But also if it doesn't, take it on the national, on the bigger scale here when you're at work, when you are around people, and things are being said and done, and you don't like it, stand up, say something. You see it, say it, and whatever, and get involved. Contact your politicians. If you're not happy with what's going on, let them know. It's the only way they're gonna know is if you actually take the time to dart down an email, and you can do multiple email addresses. So on one email can go to all of them. You know what I mean? Like nowadays it's so easy, right? Back in the day when you have to hand write everything, that was effort, and it cost you money to send. Now it's free and it's easy, and if we don't, well, then
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people, meaning you dished out a whole plate full of stuff, and sometimes that can be overwhelming for people. It is for me sometimes too, and I'm not alone. I'm sure there's other people when they say, "Oh, write your congressman and do this and do that, and all of these things and change your life. Stand up, put it on the calendar. Start some." You know what? Take one step today.
Well, that's
do
true.
One thing. Tomorrow, do 2 things. The next day, 3 things. Start somewhere. If you don't start, you're never gonna finish. If you want to say you're just like losing weight. Today, I'm fat. Tomorrow, I am gonna stop eating one thing that's gonna make me fat. And then the next day, I'm gonna do another thing. And then maybe the next day, I'm gonna step a few more steps. And then little by little, I'm a thin guy again. You get what I'm saying?
Well, that is true. Especially if you are getting overwhelmed, and a lot of people are having anxieties, and things are coming out in different ways. And so if that's you, and you just, you feel overwhelmed, just breathe first of all, right? One thing at a time. Miracles don't happen overnight. You know what I mean? So, but just being, mindful of it, and know that you do have a say. You know what I mean? If we all do it, we'll win. Yep. There's only a few of them. There's lots of us. And so, that's something to do. Stand up. I love Brigit's message for this in bulk. So I hope that you guys got something out of this show here. And if you did, leave us some comments. Let us know, your thoughts and where you're listening or watching from, and anything like that. And if you don't mind smashing that like, share this out, and stay tuned, because we got a lot of great shows coming up. We got a lot of guests lined up as well that we're going to be so it's going to be a lot of variety of all kinds of things coming up. So stay tuned, everybody. And if you don't mind checking out the merch store, see if you can support us in some way over there, or donations are always greatly appreciated. All the links are in the description over on YouTube there. If you are listening over on the podcast, we are on all the major podcasts. You have to find us though, or under Forbidden Knowledge Network is where you're going to find our shows over there. I do have a link to the Spreaker. You can follow us on Spreaker. But all the other places is under Forbidden Knowledge Network. So if you're listening over there, thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for liking and sharing. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.